When looking back through CCTV footage, the first place she was spotted was ambling down Anglesey Street, carelessly glancing into shop windows. She was unmistakable in her pigtails, low-cut blouse and blazer from the nearby Bellevue High. Moving slowly outwards from the busy city centre streets, her next port of call was a medium-sized shopping centre on the edge of the nearby suburb of Douglas. Again, she didn't seem to have much interest in buying anything, just browsing and picking up the occasional glances from young men passing by. It was on the third floor of this shopping centre that the young man in the red jacket was first seen. To the casual onlooker, nothing would have seemed out of the ordinary, but cameras later revealed that he was keeping his gaze almost completely focused on her. She headed downstairs and, after dropping into Starbucks for a tall, skinny latte and a chocolate muffin, headed out of the north entrance of the shopping centre. That was the point at which the second young man was seen for the first time. Wearing a brown jacket and jeans, he walked just behind the man in the red jacket as they both followed her out of the mall. Over the course of the next 30 minutes, she proceeded to walk through the suburb of Douglas and out to the very edge of town, to an area known as the Barrowlands. The Barrowlands was not an area typically frequented by girls like her, especially on Friday evenings as the sun was beginning to set. This area did not enjoy the best of reputations, nor did it have the most adequate police protection. The two young men followed her keenly through the entire journey, keeping their distance, never too far and never too close, and never letting her out of their sight. 20 minutes later, just after sunset, she was seen entering the grounds of St. Patrick's Church, on the very edge of the Barrowlands. This is the point from which the only solid eyewitness reports come into play. An elderly woman who had been leaving the church later stated that she had seen both the young woman and the two young men enter the church grounds in quick succession. But her description of the two young men was puzzling in the extreme. She described the two of them as having blank, emotionless expressions and walking in perfect unison. She believed that their steady march seemed almost involuntary. 20 minutes after the witness sighting, the police were called to the grounds of the church, after passers-by reported hearing guttural roars emanating from the cemetery. When the police arrived, they found the two young men lying on the ground, eviscerated, with the young girl standing over them. The dashboard camera of the police car showed both officers standing in disbelief for a short time, before walking over and handcuffing the young girl. After handcuffing her, the two officers were seen to pause and then stare blankly into the distance for around 30 seconds, before one of the officers walked over to her and handed her the key. The girl released herself from the handcuffs and casually walked back out of the cemetery. An hour later, a separate squad car arrived and found the two officers still transfixed. They were brought to a local hospital and treated, but did not become coherent for another 2 days. When the officers finally came round, they were interrogated as to why they had given the handcuff key to the young girl. Their response was simple. She was asking for it.